Columbus Air Force Base. Over the next 4 hours, we will continue working our way down out of those 50s and upper 40s.
Say again.
This is Kathy at Social Security. How can I help you?
You're Kathy?
Yes.
Hi, Kathy.
Hi.
1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to go with the small ones. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have informed the Social Security Administration that its employees are actively engaged in an attempt to get me to commit suicide. And I have informed the Social Security Administration of the individual who's doing that. You are actively engaged in that process now. In reality, there's no way you could get this phone call without actively being engaged with that process. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
Okay.
My question to you is 10 a satisfactory number for your bid? Or would you like to make a different bid?
If there's something I can help you with,
I don't believe, if you work for the Social Security Administration and you have not informed law, thank you.
He's heading towards middle 40s by the 8 o'clock hour, and we're definitely seeing that front head our way with dangerous cold temperatures continuing into Christmas. Andrea?
Well, a volunteer group in Columbus is making sure those who with no place to call home have a place to stay warm. The Homeless Coalition has been working to find locations or make arrangements for people as the temperature will drop over the next several days, as we just heard from Ashley there. The group works to find hotels, family members, or even transportation to get those people to family members out of town.
We want to make sure that every man, woman, and child, needy family, or homeless has a place to lay their head at night. We believe that every person, an individual, family, and other are always provided the basic necessities of life, which is, food, shelter, water, clothing, things of that nature that we take for granted.
Now, if you know someone who needs help, you can call the Homeless Coalition. We do have a phone number. We will share that number with you later on. There we go. There's the number, 662-549-2643. Now, during the cold weather, sometimes it's possible to find homeless people seeking warmth in abandoned homes. And while some are there, they may make fires for extra warmth. Now, according to Columbus Fire Chief Dwayne Hughes, this can cause, of course, the house to catch fire. Chief Hughes says while they try their best to keep others out for safety precautions, they also ask that people will help guide the homeless to a safer place.
Some of the most tragic fires that we've had here in the city of Columbus have occurred in abandoned structures and residences. When it comes to businesses, Columbus Fire and Rescue does have the authority to go in and inspect those. We do those annually. But when it comes to private residences, we do not have the authority to actually go there and inspect. So we depend on citizens to let us know if there's something like that going on where you have someone that may be homeless, trying to get out of the weather, using that as a warming shelter.
Now, of course, if you find someone in need of shelter, there are places like the Salvation Army, or as we just mentioned, the Homeless Coalition, who can assist.
Do you think I give
The
a
year-and-a-half-long congressional investigation into the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol is supposed to be wrapped up today with the release of a final report, but that release may be on hold due to the visit of Ukrainian President Zelensky. Deborah Alfarone is on Capitol Hill with what you can expect to see when the report is finally made public.
The House committee investigating the deadly assault on the U.S. Capitol is delaying release of its final report due to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's visit. The report will now come out Thursday.
I guarantee there'll be some very interesting new information
in the report and even more so in the transcripts that we
I prefer to die comfortable.
18 months. During that time, it conducted about 1,200 interviews and collected more than 1 million documents.
You'll see why we're concerned that that witnesses may have been interfered with or an attempt to influence
CBS
them.
News' Robert Costa obtained some previously unaired audio from the deposition of President Trump's personal aide, Nick Luna, who told investigators he heard the president tearing up documents.
I don't know what the documents were, but they're worth hearing.
But you are aware that at least sometimes the president would tear up notes or piece of paper accused of. Is that correct?
The January 6th committee has already voted to recommend to the Department of Justice that federal prosecutors pursue possible criminal charges against former President Trump. Republicans continue to dismiss the bipartisan committee as nothing more than a partisan attack.
It was set up as political theater. It's still political theater. Investigations ought to be done by law enforcement, not by some political group.
House Republicans issued their own report focused on security failures on January 6th. They blamed Capitol Police leadership and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi for not protecting the Capitol. And they say Capitol Police did not receive proper training to handle a situation like the attack. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Lafayette County deputies have made an arrest in a molestation case. Ricky Poe remains in jail on a molestation charge. Investigators were called this past Friday night to the Harmontown community about a juvenile being touched. After a forensic interview yesterday, Poe was arrested. Bond has not been set in his case. A new lawsuit argues that a redistricting plan approved by the Mississippi legislature does not accurately reflect the state's population and discriminates against black voters. The Mississippi NAACP and 5 black residents filed the federal suit Tuesday. It challenges state house and senate districts scheduled to be used in the 2023 election. Mississippi's population is about 59% white and 38% black. In the redistricting plan adopted this year by the state's Republican-led legislature, 15 of the 52 Senate districts and 42 of the 122 House districts are majority black. That's only 29% of the Senate districts and 34% of the House districts. The lawsuit says legislators could have drawn 40 more majority black Senate districts and 3 more in the House. The suit comes 6 weeks before candidates' qualifying deadline of February the 1st. Some Columbus residents have been raising concerns about the use of a decommissioned fire station. People have been contacting Mayor Keith Gaskin and Columbus City Council members about activity around and possibly in the former fire station number 4 at the corner of Airline and McCrary Roads. The comments range from seeing lights on to seeing people in the building, which is supposed to be closed. A nearby ministry that helps men transition from substance abuse back into the workforce and society has been in negotiations with the city about leasing or buying the building. Some residents were concerned that someone might actually be living in this building.
How many you
Mayor
want,
Gaskin
bitch?
reached out to members of the ministry, and a councilman did a walkthrough of the fire station to check on things.
From the discussions and questions that we've asked,
Let's go, motherfucker!
Went inside and looked around and saw that the lights were on. We determined why they're still on. He told me it did not look like to him that anybody had been staying in there or anything like that. So, I think it's a bit to do about nothing, really. We do want to make sure that any facilities the city owns are not being used if it's not proper for people to do that.
Now, power is still connected and
One down!
sometimes on at the former fire station because Lowndes County EMA still maintains a tornado siren there at that site. Well, after serving for more than a decade, a sheriff in our area is ready to put down the badge and enjoy more family time. Winston County Sheriff Jason Pugh is gearing up for retirement, announcing he will not run for another term. Sheriff Pugh has been in law enforcement for more than 25 years. He says his successor will have his work cut out for him.
I appreciate them so much for allowing me to do this. We've had some, like I say, some great days. We've had some bad days. We've been able to help a lot of people. That's very important.
This is how murder works. That was a pill. 1 is the count. Edward Jason Pugh. I'm just gonna count out the random bullshit that they putting up in front of me. You figure out why I think they trying to kill me. You figure that shit out.
Novice or amateur outdoors person, this may look unusual. It's a tree stand. Today we're talking tree stand safety. I'm your host, Winston Reed. This is your expert, Dr. John Long. This is Next to Nature.
Deal, don't wait.
With the excess inventory, some retailers have actually pulled back on how much additional inventory they're bringing in. So once the
That's
current
a
inventory
vote
for
for
some of these
two.
products sells out, it may be out for the rest of the year.
And these sales are expected to carry over into the new year. Also, some stores offer purchase protection like Target and Walmart. So if you buy something,
Now, why do I
cheaper
believe
in
this
another
bitch
store,
is forcing
you get a
me
refund for the
with my
difference.
own
In Los
hands
Angeles, I'm
to
Christine
be the
Lozano,
Manchurian
CBS News.
candidate? Why do I believe this bitch is taking my hand and popping the pill in my mouth like I'm a Manchurian candidate and I can't do anything about it? Ask the last bitch I just talked to.
All right, just a few more days to get those deals. All right, high school athletes from all over the state chose where they will play college ball. Cam will have the latest when we come back.
WCBI First Alert AccuWeather Forecast is brought to you by Alpha Insurance. Call Alpha agent Austin Bowman in Columbus for all your insurance needs.
You're helping her study for a geography test.
Good evening, Social Security. This is Security. Can I help you?
Yes, I'm making a post right now about the last person that I spoke with, engagement in waterboarding, because I want to appeal the notice that was sent to me on November the 22nd, 2000, and that was post dated November the 21st, 2002.
2002?
Yes.
Okay. And what's your Social Security number?
Thank you for calling. So
587 31 6485.
Okay. And your name, please?
Zori Rush.
Okay, one second. Let me just get your record here. Okay, and may I get your date of birth, please?
10477.
And the city and state you were born in?
Uport, Mississippi.
And your mother's maiden name?
Uport, Mississippi. Rush.
Thank you. And your address on file, please?
6912 Mount Vernon Road, Uport, Mississippi 39744.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Okay, let me see here. And then do you need the document emailed to you to do the appeal?
The document that the statement that I received says that the to contact you to find out the procedure because I have a restriction, but it doesn't say what the restriction is. It says to call you
Okay,
about
yeah, you just have to mail that appeal document in to the local office.
it. Those
And
are
that
those
way-
are instructions, ma'am. Though that's not a restriction. You're not telling me what the restriction is why I can't use the service that everyone else is able to use.
What service are you talking about?
The online appeal service where you file an appeal online.
Okay. I do see you submitted one on the 25th already, so they do have that already out there. You just got to give the office time to work it.
They're already in violation of, that's the reason why I'm appealing this notice. They're already in violation of program's administrative procedure and the program's operations manual GN 02406.201, non-receipt of Title II critical payment system checks with actual and constructive evidence that I have not had access to medical treatment since 2018. Under subsection A, it clearly states that you pay continuing or one-time payments through CPS when a Title II beneficiary is receiving his or her payments, but we owe additional benefits and the situation meets the definition of a critical case. You and I both know critical cases are determined in 14 days. It's certainly been past 14 days since I filed the appeal, and this notice does not comply. It also doesn't comply with federal regulation Title 42, Section 431.214, notices in cases of probable fraud. On January the 19th, someone at the teleservice center and the field office supposedly sent a disability accommodation request for a compliant notice that acknowledges the fact that the beneficiary has alleged that the Social Security Servicing Office in Starkville, Mississippi is knowingly transmitting a false record under my name to other agency components. And then when I call you, you read from the false record.
Okay, so back to the first part that you said.
Uh-huh.
Are you receiving your disability payment?
Well, again, this is the issue that I'm having is that you just looked at my information and I read to you where it says a Title II beneficiary is receiving his or her payments, but we owe additional benefits and the situation meets the definition of a critical case. Just before that, it says a Title II beneficiary that's not receiving benefits. So in this case, because it involves a violation of GN 02406.201, it doesn't matter whether or not I'm receiving benefits because this says even if the claimant is receiving benefits, if you owe additional benefits, the situation meets the definition of critical case if the evidence fits that criteria. I haven't had a case-by-case analysis, and I've waited for one since your system should show that I've waited for a case-by-case analysis to show that I'm still in a dire need situation since July the 19th, 2021. So there's obvious proof that the Social Security Administration does not intend.
I don't understand how you would receive additional funds. This money is calculated off of the earnings.
Ma'am, you're attempting to do something that is the issue on appeal. I'm not asking you to make a determination over the phone. That evidence is submitted in a record.
And then it is being reviewed by the office currently.
What's being reviewed? What's being reviewed, ma'am? You're not. You said you were going back to the original issue. The original issue is I'm attempting to appeal. Let me go. You take your time.
So we do have that. So you just have to give the office time to review that, so that you have, and then that way we can go from there. Okay. Did you have any other questions or anything else I can help with?
Ma'am, are you ignoring what I just read in the manual? Are you ignoring the fact that they only have 14 days on a critical case and that it's already been past 14 days? Because you're telling me that they somehow, just because you said that, they have more than 14 days, but the rules say that they don't.
Suggest that you give them a call. You definitely can.
Oh,
But right
are
now,
you
I don't
telling
have
me
any
that I
other
don't have the right
information
to
for
appeal?
you at
Are
this
you
time.
telling me that I don't have the right to appeal the notice that's not compliant with those two statutes?
At this time, I couldn't even make that call, because that office has to look at that.
Okay, well
And
then,
the
then,
Starkville's
then
office,
let's
do you
get
need
to
their phone
the
number?
issue I called you about. How do I enforce my rights now? Because I understand that I have the right to appeal a decision that violates the procedural due process clause
You're
of
gonna
the
have to
United
reach out
States
to the
Constitution.
Starkville's office to review that guideline that you're going over. I am not gonna be able to do that to you, with you on the general hotline. So you need to give them a call. Do you need their phone number?
Ma'am, are you looking at my record?
Yes, and at this time,
Does my record,
you have
did
to
I
reach
tell
out
you,
to the
did you hear me
Starkville
tell you that the,
No,
did you
sir,
hear me tell you that the servicing
Just
field
direction.
office has
Can
been
you
accused of
listen to what I'm saying?
knowingly maintaining a false record in my name?
That you're talking about, you have to reach out to the Starkville's office.
Right, and
So
did
if
you
want
hear
their
me?
phone
Did you
number-
hear me tell you? Did you hear me tell you that the servicing field office is accused in that appeal of knowingly transmitting a false record to the processing center? Did you hear me tell you that?
And where did that appeal, I think, went to that office?
Well, again, ma'am.
Hold on just a second. Let me see if there's something off of that. Hold on. Because your appeal goes to that office.
Well, ma'am, I can't do anything about that. The only thing I can do is enforce my First Amendment right to say in an appeal, on each appeal or in each claim, that each claims folder that's being sent from that office contains fraudulent information, and that those employees in that office are obstructing my right to communicate with the Social Security Administration, who should be correcting my records and paying an underpayment. You are doing it now. I'm telling you that the Social Security owes me an underpayment and that it is pending on a critical case, and you're telling me to wait past the time the Social Security Administration is supposed to do it. So you're the Social Security Administration now telling me to go to the people I am accusing of committing the crime that's causing me to have an underpayment while in critical need, including need to access medical treatment since 2017.
I just don't have anybody else that you can work with. I'm sorry.
Thank you for calling Social Security.
Because I can't help you any further. I don't know what else to tell you.
Well, I'm not asking you to tell me anything, ma'am. If I understand the United States Social Security Administration to be a massive tool to protect the industries that set up retirement systems for the most vulnerable worker. You're making a statement that what you're saying is the final statement on this particular case by case analysis for the entire Social Security Administration, that the entire Social Security Administration cannot help me on a case-by-case analysis for this entire issue, when I know that this can be escalated to a supervisor, this could be immediately sending an email to inform someone that this is actually what's happening. I know that those are options. I also know why you're choosing not to do them, because the fault you are reading from the record that I am telling you is false. I have nothing left to say, man. Thank you. I mean, right. Other than the fact, because I know what you're doing. Other than the fact that I know that you know that right now you are engaged in an attempted murder. I know that, and I know that you know that. Now you can end this call, because I'm done. Bye, ma'am. Bye, ma'am. There's nothing you can do, because you could have called your supervisor before you lied and said there is nothing that the Social Security Administration can do. You know that they are, but you chose to tell that lie. Ma'am, again, you're engaged in an attempted murder. You're engaged in an attempted murder.
emergency. We always encourage you to make an appointment, as this will help us plan for you. Physical distancing and wearing of masks are required in our offices. We will provide a mask if you do not have one. Please be aware of individuals impersonating Social Security employees over the phone. If you suspect you have received a scammed call, you should report the details of the call to the Office of the Inspector General online at oig.fsa.gov/report. Once you've completed your call with us, please take a moment to provide